Fairy Godmother Project is an organization that supports families who are facing pediatric cancer. We try to support them by alleviating some of their daily stresses. In 2003, we lived down the street from a family who had a child who survived brain cancer. And the mom, when she was talking to me about it, told me that they found that people disappeared that they thought would support them. In the beginning, people always say, well, we'll make you a meal, we'll do this, we'll do that. Well, Fairy Godmother Project continues it on. When those friends that get back into their own lives disappear, we're still there to support these families.
My son was diagnosed with leukemia on June 8th of 2011. Dealing with Dylan's illness was, something that we never thought we would have to do, but no one realizes what comes after that. And it was extremely hard to reach out because you don't want to have to ask for anything or want anyone to do anything for you, but deep down inside, you do need somebody to be there for you. We have a fairy godmother who is just our fairy godmother for our family, and she has been amazing and been a friend to me when so many people have forgotten about us.
It's hard for a lot of our families to even ask for the help, and that's like the biggest step. I initially started off with just making meals. Just knowing after a long clinic day that they're coming home and there'll be a meal sitting there waiting for them, it seems so little, but it isn't. It's huge. It's a huge deal.
You don't realize that you're suddenly driving to Richmond 2 times a week because the closest clinic is in Richmond. There is no clinic in this area. You're paying for gas in your car that wasn't needed before. You're there all day. You get home, you're totally exhausted, and you don't want to cook.
We're out and about all the time. It's easy to just, have the dinner with you and pop by and drop it off. The families know that a meal is coming. They have their coolers out, you drop it off and you go.
We provide 2 meals a week per family. We also provide monthly lawn care. We provide an option to have date nights. So we try and keep all those things going that they really have let go of, that they just haven't had time, they don't have time to do.
There were meals, there were gas cards, there was people that understood what we were going through and really wanted to help.
I love capturing moments for people.
Is that natural?
Families who are dealing with pediatric cancer can barely get the day-to-day tasks done, so pictures fall to the bottom of the priority list, yet they're so important. Andie and I discussed the possibility of incorporating that idea into Fairy Godmother Project and offering all the families that Fairy Godmother Project would serve a photography session. The first session that I ever did for Fairy Godmother Project was for a 13-month-old who unfortunately passed away less than 3 weeks later. They were the only professional portraits the family had done together and the only professional portraits of the little boy.
Those photos, the mom has told us, will be the only way that his older sister remembers him. And just to know that Stephanie did that, and that we did that as an organization is just absolutely awesome.
For me, and I think all of our volunteer photographers, we're people who want to do something, want to give back, want to help. And so to be able to use our talent to help is very satisfying and rewarding.
How about one more? I'm so blessed to have healthy children and a good life, and if I can give back a little bit, then to me it's worth it.
The main thing that keeps us going is our volunteers. Many of our volunteers, part of their family culture is that they are helping and they're giving back to these kids and these families.
I hadn't had a haircut in a year because of his treatment, because that was just something that I didn't have time for. Fairy Godmother is so great about having a woman that comes to your house and helps you and cuts your hair. I'll never forget the day that she came and cut my hair, and then Dylan had lost all of his hair in treatment, and she put him up on the chair and she cut the few little hairs he had, and it put the biggest smile on his face.
I have seen people give and give and give like I didn't even know people were capable of giving. Back in the very beginning, I met the neighbor of a family whose son had been diagnosed with pediatric brain cancer. They were told that the child would not make it. And as soon as that happened, I sent out sort of an SOS email to our volunteers and said, you know, we have a family and the child is in hospice and we need help. Within 24 hours, I had my outdoor freezer stocked with meals for this family. Volunteers came from literally out of nowhere. I mean, I just had this constant flow to my house. It was unbelievable. It's amazing to know that in everything that's happening, there are people out there that will give to someone they don't even know.
She's been a friend, but you know, they've also gone above and beyond, and Dylan was honored as a courageous kid this year for his fight against cancer, and they had a ceremony down in Richmond, and Helen and her family were there to see him. It makes me very emotional because I knew that they were there when no one else was.
I would like to think that it's for selfless reasons that we do this, but you also get so much back from it.
There's somebody delivering a meal. There's somebody checking in on a lead volunteer, checking in on their family, and just knowing that all those little things are going on is pretty amazing.
I don't want to think about where I'd be without Fairy Godmother Project.